Have you ever wondered what life is really like inside the most mysterious country on Earth? A place where people have never heard of Google, Starbucks, or even Coca-Cola? A place where traffic is controlled by beautiful female police officers, where beer costs less than $1, and streets fall silent under flickering streetlights at night. Welcome to North Korea, a land of contradictions and secrets. Are you ready to explore it with us? Leave your mark on this video. Comment where you're watching from so I can give you a say hi. North Korea, a land of contradictions, mystery, and quiet intensity. Tucked away on the northern half of the Korean peninsula, this country shares its borders with China, Russia, and its more familiar southern sibling, South Korea. It's about the size of Mississippi, but it feels like another planet. Despite being wrapped by over 1,500 miles of coastline, most North Koreans have never seen the ocean up close because they aren't allowed to. While the world is more connected than ever, the citizens of North Korea live in a bubble where concepts like Google, iPhones, or Starbucks are completely foreign. Let's talk about the climate. Summers are muggy and humid, kind of like Florida in July. But it's the winters that will test your grit. Temperatures drop below minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Snow blankets the countryside stunningly but harshly. There are about 26 million people living here. Most of them are packed into the capital, Pyongyang. Only citizens chosen by the state based on loyalty, achievements, and family background are allowed to settle in the capital. North Koreans speak Korean, yes, but their version has evolved differently from the South. Some words and accents sound so foreign now, even South Koreans can't recognize them. More importantly, any map in North Korean schools shows a unified Korea with Pyongyang as its capital. Let's keep it, because what you'll see next will surprise you even more. No Amazon, no online banking, no private savings. No other options unless state approved. That's the trade-off in North Korea's centrally planned economy, a system where the government controls nearly everything. In North Korea, 3 essential services, housing, healthcare, and education, are provided for free, and it's one of the few economies in the world that doesn't collect taxes. If you're curious about the actual cost of living in North Korea, here's a glimpse. A furnished apartment might run around $90 per month. Utilities only $12 per month. A local meal at most between $1 to $3. A bottle of Taedonggang beer costs about 50 cents. Healthcare at a private clinic, negotiable. For anyone who's paid $1,200 a month for rent in the US, or $30 in co-pays at urgent care centers, this place might feel like stepping into a fantasy world. But here's the catch. Most prices aren't made public. No one shops with credit cards. There's no Amazon Prime. And imported goods like Coca-Cola are considered luxuries. If you spot a bottle, chances are it's tucked away behind a minibar in a hotel reserved for senior officials. Are you impressed with the cost of living here? If yes, comment with the number 5 to let us know you're still following us. Up next, we'll dive into the cultural heartbeat of North Korea, festivals, traditions, and what truly moves the people inside this mysterious nation. Every year on April 15th, the capital city of Pyongyang transforms into something breathtaking. The holiday is called the Day of the Sun, celebrating the birthday of Kim Il-sung, the country's founding leader. This is a massive national event featuring military parades, dazzling fireworks, and the largest synchronized performances on the planet. About over 100,000 people, dancers, gymnasts, school children, all performing as one moving machine. The entire stadium becomes a giant human mural, with images shifting in real time as thousands of performers flip colored cards in perfect sync. Faces, flags, historical scenes. It's as if the walls are alive. Now, not all festivals are giant political statements. North Korea also celebrates more traditional events like the Lunar New Year and the Lantern Festival. People release hundreds of brightly lit lanterns into the sky, creating a rare and picturesque scene. It's peaceful, reflective, almost spiritual. Coming up next, we'll explore the flavors of North Korea, from ice-cold noodles to a beer that rivals some of Europe's best. You've probably had kimchi before, that fiery fermented cabbage dish that's now on menus across, but In North Korea, they don't just have kimchi. They have hundreds of kimchi varieties, each region with its own recipe. Some are spicy, others sour. A few are mellow and sweet. Some are made with radishes, others mustard greens. One of the must-try specialties for visitors is naengmyeon, cold noodles served in chilled beef bone broth. Served with crisp cucumber, slices of beef, and half a boiled egg, naengmyeon is a dish that sneaks up on you. The buckwheat noodles are chewy and light, the broth is clean and refreshing, and on a humid summer day in Pyongyang, it hits the spot. It's not hearty like Italian pasta. It's not rich like Japanese ramen. It's understated, like much of North Korea itself. Taedonggang beer is regarded as one of the best beers in East Asia. Taedonggang, brewed with equipment imported from the UK, delivers something that might remind you of a German Pilsner, with just a hint of sweetness. And the best part is it costs less than $1. Back home, a six-pack of anything decent might run you $12 to $15. A local dinner of cold noodles, kimchi, and beer costs under $3 and leaves you full and satisfied. We're going to explore North Korean women, their lives, their beauty, and the world around them in the next chapter. But first, take 5 seconds to hit the subscribe button on the channel and tap the notification bell so you never miss our most exciting and latest content. If there's one thing that never ceases to amaze you, it's women in North Korea. Wearing high heels and light makeup, North Korean women still maintain a graceful beauty, bright eyes, sleek black hair, and a gentle smile. Walking through the streets of Pyongyang, you'll see these women standing tall. Their outfits are modest, neat, and stylish in a uniquely local way. Their uniforms may feature a small pin worn over the heart, bearing the image of Kim Il-sung or Kim Jong-il. In Pyongyang, traffic police are often young, tall, and sharp women, dressed in crisp blue and white uniforms, directing traffic with firm, strong, yet elegant gestures. To be selected for this role, a woman must meet 3 criteria: height, vision, and beauty. Moreover, tourists are not allowed to date local citizens. Any romantic interaction here must be approached with extreme caution. No holding hands in public. No kissing on the streets. Most relationships grow slowly through quiet glances, family introductions, and long walks together. Next, we'll explore urban life in Pyongyang and what it's really like inside one of the most tightly controlled capitals in the world. Most visitors enter North Korea through Sunan International Airport. From there, you step into Pyongyang and you'll be struck by it. From the meticulously maintained parks to the choreographed traffic control, this is a city in uniform. Now let's talk about living conditions. Hundreds of apartment buildings, many of them without elevators. Residents have to climb hundreds of stairs each day. Most residential buildings are between 25 and 35 stories tall. Pyongyang is extremely quiet. There are no honking horns, no street vendors shouting to sell their goods, no cars weaving through traffic. Even traffic is choreographed, directed by uniformed female officers who move with calmness and precision. There is a sense of peace, but also a pervasive sense of surveillance. Have you ever visited the capital city, Pyongyang? What impressed you the most about it? We'd love to hear about your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Next, we'll look at how people actually get around this mysterious city, from the world's deepest subway station to streets that are nearly empty of cars. Beneath Pyongyang lies the deepest subway system in the world. It can also double as a bomb shelter. It's 110 meters deep, more than 360 feet, deeper than any subway in New York, London, or Tokyo. It takes more than 3 minutes by escalator to get down there, descending into a world untouched by time. The stations are immaculate. The walls are decorated with vivid murals and propaganda posters. Elaborate chandeliers light up the platforms, and the air is always cool, staying at around 64 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. Most people in Pyongyang do not own cars. Instead, they rely on a network of double-decker buses, trams, and shared taxis. Rush hour in Pyongyang is unlike anywhere else. Imagine hundreds of people waiting and no one pushing or shoving. You'll never see motorcycles in Pyongyang. They're banned. In most Asian cities, scooters and motorbikes are everywhere. But here, there's no roar of engines, no food delivery scooters weaving through traffic. Most notably, people only have access to a handful of pre-approved domestic websites for news, education, and weather. All of it is monitored, and even then, access is limited to elite groups or internal networks. Next, we'll explore North Korea's military heartbeat and how it shapes daily life. Military service isn't just a duty. It's a part of daily life. Every young man in North Korea after turning 18 is expected to serve in the military for up to 10 years. Women also serve until they are at least 23 years old. With more than 1 million active duty troops and 6 million paramilitary personnel, North Korea's military ranks as one of the largest in the world. In a country with around 25 million people, that's a staggering figure. For every 4 people you meet, about 1 is directly involved with the military. Ever wondered why the streets of Pyongyang feel so empty? That's because cars are incredibly rare. Only government officials and military personnel are allowed to own private vehicles. You'll still spot a few high-end models, Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, even some old Volgas from the 1970s that somehow still run. But most people walk, ride bicycles, or take the subway. North Korea even has its own automobile industry, which began in the 1950s. Initially created to produce military vehicles, the Sungri motor plant later shifted to making civilian models, many of which are replicas of foreign cars they admire, even if they can't officially import them. Kim Jong-un is reportedly the owner of everything from Rolls-Royces and Audis to Range Rovers, even though importing cars into the country is no easy task. The North Korean government typically prohibits all forms of cultural, sports, and economic exchanges with South Korea. Events such as music performances, sports competitions, or cultural exhibitions between the two Koreas are strictly controlled and rarely held. The North Korean government fears that these exchange activities could negatively influence their socialist ideology. Although North Korea and South Korea have jointly participated in some international sporting events, internal sports exchanges between the two countries rarely take place. For example, at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, the two nations marched together under the unified Korean Peninsula flag and had a joint women's ice hockey team. However, shortly afterward, when relations became tense, the exchange activities were suspended and did not continue. In North Korea, even time follows a different path. Time is counted from the birth of Kim Il-sung, the country's founding leader. Soon, North Korea will enter the year 114 based on the birth year of Kim Il-sung. That means Juche Year 1 is the same as 1912 in the Gregorian calendar. Every document, every sign, every official date here follows this system. Coming up next, we'll explore the landmarks of Pyongyang, from towering stadiums to pyramidal hotels, and what they reveal about a country that builds big, bold, and with a message. Architecture here is symbolism, pride, power, permanence. The Rung Grotto. First of May Stadium is the biggest stadium in the world, holding up to 150,000 people. Built in 1989, it was designed to be more than just a sports venue. Its true claim to fame is the Mass Games, a synchronized performance involving tens of thousands of dancers, gymnasts, and students, all moving in perfect harmony. Then there's the Rugyong Hotel, one of the most unique and iconic buildings in the world, shaped like a pyramid 105 stories tall. It dominates the Pyongyang skyline, a massive glass triangle that seems to pierce the clouds. Originally intended to be the tallest hotel in the world, it boasts over 7,600 rooms, with plans for a revolving restaurant at the top. But it's still not fully operational. No trip to Pyongyang is complete without stepping into the heart of it all, Kim Il-sung Square. The largest square in North Korea capable of holding 100,000 people is the 16th largest in the world. The square is designed to make the individual disappear into the collective. Standing in Kim Il-sung Square during a military parade is surreal. You feel tiny in the face of orchestrated grandeur. Just across the river stands the Juche Tower, rising proudly into the sky. Named after the Juche philosophy, North Korea's guiding principle of self-reliance, this tower is one of the most recognizable symbols of the country. It's 560 feet tall, topped with a glowing red flame. Coming up next, we step into Nightfall in North Korea when the lights dim, and the country takes on a mysterious. The North Korean government strictly controls all international travel activities of its citizens and severely restricts foreign visitors from entering the country, especially for cultural or economic exchange purposes. North Korean citizens are not allowed to travel abroad freely without government approval. Traveling, especially to South Korea, is considered a potentially treasonous act. Authorities are concerned that if citizens are exposed to the economic, social, and cultural development in South Korea, it could undermine the socialist political and ideological system in North Korea. Only a small number of North Korean citizens are permitted to go abroad, mainly senior officials or contract workers in allied countries such as China and Russia. Even these individuals are closely monitored and must pledge not to communicate with the outside world, particularly South Korea. In some cases, their families are kept in North Korea as a form of guarantee. One example is in the year 2014, when the North Korean government issued a ban on travel to China for its citizens to prevent potential defections. North Korea also enforces extremely strict control regulations on foreigners wishing to enter the country, especially South Koreans. Foreign tourists, when allowed into North Korea, may only visit tightly controlled areas and are always accompanied by guides. They are not allowed to travel freely or interact with local residents. When the sun goes down in most world capitals, the streets come alive. Bars open. Neon signs buzz. Music spills out into the sidewalks. But in Pyongyang, night falls differently. The flickering streetlights life goes on, but everything seems to be enveloped in calm and tranquility. Tall buildings show only a few scattered lights, like candles flickering in the distance. Couples still stroll the wide avenues. Children finish their walk home. Soldiers pass in silence. And through it all, a soft breeze moves the trees, as if the city itself is exhaling after a long day. There's something about Pyongyang at night that's hard to explain. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's peaceful, honest. In our next and final chapter, we'll explore the questions so many travelers ask. Can you actually visit North Korea? And what would it take to go to a place like this? Visitors to North Korea can only enter from Russia or China-US. Citizens face restrictions. There are no direct flights from the US or Europe. If you're planning a trip, you'll first need to travel to Beijing or Vladivostok, where North Korea-bound flights depart. Beijing is the easiest and most commonly used route. And if you want to take the scenic option, there's even a train from Beijing into Pyongyang, a slow, quiet journey that sets the tone for the experience ahead. Since 2017, the U.S. Department of State has enforced a travel ban on North Korea. This means your passport is not valid for travel to or through North Korea, except under very rare and specific circumstances, usually tied to journalism, aid work, or diplomatic missions. If you're from Europe, the process is more straightforward but still tightly controlled. You must apply through an approved travel agency. Independent travel is not allowed. You'll need a completed application, passport photo, and a copy of your passport. You should submit your paperwork at least 1.5 months in advance. North Korea does not have specific visa categories for those wishing to retire or reside long-term in the country. Even diplomats and aid workers live under strict oversight, often for limited durations. We are so glad you are with us today. Please leave a comment, like the video to support us, and subscribe for more videos. See you soon.